Okay, welcome. It is now already November. I cannot believe that this year is almost over. So I know that this is a very busy time of year. It's kind of right now almost feels maybe like the calm before the storm type of time because we are about to we've got Black Friday coming up, which really kicks off the shopping season, but even on Amazon. And then Monday, people really start going crazy with Cyber Monday. They're on that platform on Amazon shopping. So I am really excited about this topic because this is something that I've only mentioned a few things in passing, but I think that will be very helpful, especially if you are looking to continue to grow out who is buying your product month after month or on a regular basis on Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen so that we can just jump right in because I know it is such a busy time of the year. I want to respect your time as well, as I know we're all busy right this time of year. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I want to talk about how to drive more repeat business on Amazon. This is very exciting because really for kind of predicting sales or just continuing to build out loyalty to your brand, you really need repeat business. And some customers are never really going to necessarily delve into your own website or other places. So really building and driving more repeat business on Amazon can really just help you continue to grow your sales online. So it is a great thing to do. And I know for some brands, they might be a little hesitant because they're like, well, I really want them to buy from me. But like I said, keep in mind that you're trying to capture those people that would not be buying from you otherwise elsewhere, or they may have not ever even heard. Now, they may end up going and buying directly from you in the future, but really, I want to show you some specific ways that you can help with that repeat business on Amazon. So really the foundations for getting repeat business on Amazon connected with that, I think it kind of goes without saying, but really you want to grow brand loyalty on Amazon. You want people to experience and understand your brand, become aware of your brand, be interested in your brand, buy from your brand. But because it's so competitive on Amazon, a huge key of getting that repeat business is going to be growing the brand loyalty, those that are loyal to buying from your brand. And it can be very noisy, to say the least, on Amazon with all the competition there. But I want to help you have some ideas of specifically how to grow brand loyalty on Amazon so that you can get them buying from you again and again. So I'm going to share very specifics with you later. Like I said, foundation is everything. I know some of you are a little bit late jumping in. Basically, if you don't have that strong foundation set up, then all of these extra strategies and tactics that I'm going to share would not be as effective without these foundational pieces. So one of the first things, I'll just go ahead and put them all here for you. Get your products and brands seen. Now, that might seem like a no-brainer, but I'm going to share specifics of what that means. So throughout this year, I've been sharing, and if you haven't had a chance to watch some previous webinars, I'm going to kind of reference some of those because we're not going to go into those right now. It would take way too much time. But things like making sure your listing is optimized is really, really foundational. You want customers to see your brand and your product and why that will help them with their need, what this will fill in their need. Customers are coming to Amazon. The amazing thing about Amazon and why you see great conversion rates on Amazon is because people are in the mindset of, I am ready to make a purchase. I am ready to buy. They're not kind of just browsing just for the fun of it. Sometimes they might be, but usually they're adding things to their wish list or they're, adding it to a list for later. So, you really want to make sure your products and your brand are seen. One thing that I really think is key, and this is something else recently we've done a webinar also on this, on, advertising on Amazon, but specifically, I really like sponsored brand advertising to get your brand awareness. Now, remember, in case you didn't attend that one, sponsored brand, that's when you type in a keyword or keyword phrase in Amazon, you're going to see the search result, and it used to be called headline ads. It's going to show up across the whole width. And if you're on desktop or mobile, it'll look a little different, but the same concept. And that's where you can have your brand logo, you can have a tagline, you can lead them to your brand stores page and showcase multiple products, up to 3 products. So that is one of, I think, the best ways if you're really trying to get brand awareness. So if you have run those types of ads, start paying attention to how many impressions are you getting every month? How many times is that type of advertising seen? Because it may not always lead to a direct sale, but are they getting it in their mind that your brand exists? And what kind of impression are they getting? What are they getting? It does show a lot from, the reviews that they're seeing. If it shows up, if you have it set up to show the reviews, the images that you use, the language that you're using to attract customers. Is that ideal customer that you're trying to target? Is it all in there within your advertising creatives? So thinking through that and then looking at those. So sponsor brands is one of my favorite ways that we've seen to really just continue to grow brand awareness for the brands that we work with, that works really effectively. Another thing, and this might seem like a no-brainer, but providing an amazing experience. Amazon is very, very customer-centric. I'm sure all of you knew that, but you want to make sure they are a large organization. So they do have, they can make mistakes. You may have seen that with even fulfilled by Amazon orders, things not arriving on time or things like that, especially this time of year. It's hard for them. The capacity is massive, but you want to make sure as best you can to give them the best experience from when they order to after they're ordering. So making sure that you're paying attention to the product reviews that are left. You're paying attention to those buyer seller messages, and are there some issues with it? Are they having trouble using your product? Maybe you need to add something that is more informational on your listing, and even within your product, if it's something that your product is something that takes a lot of instructions to use, especially for first-time users. You want to do everything you can to give customers, especially those ones that have never purchased from you before, just an amazing experience from start to finish. Amazon does a really great job with that, but then you want to be there supporting it in every way you can. So making sure you're paying to those, 3 stars is neutral, but I would consider that negative. 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star, paying attention to those, seeing, is there something, is this product arriving to people damaged? If that's the case, get with your team and figure out, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that this does not keep happening? Things like that to really make sure you're paying attention to. Another thing is to, make sure that you're setting up your listings to convert. So I kind of a little bit already mentioned that, but basically that's kind of tied in with the listing optimization. You want to make sure you're using language, because remember, your product listing is like your ongoing sales page that is working for you 24/7, 365 days of the year. You want to make sure that your unit session percentage, that's your conversion rate, you want to make sure you're maxing that out as much as possible. So like I said, I won't belabor that point too much. You can look back to previous webinars where we've talked about how to improve your listing, how to, optimize it for the best performance possible. With Amazon, it is possible, depending on your product, this could vary. It is very possible to get a 20% conversion rate. Whereas with a website, typically brands are happy with a 1 to 3% would be amazing. Like a 3% is amazing. But when on Amazon, 20%, and that's just a very general rule of thumb. We've seen, if the more competitive the market, it could be a little bit lower than that, but we've also seen brands that have it so honed in that we've seen well over 50% conversion rates on. So every time, think about it, every time someone visits, they're actually more than half are buying. That's astounding. So you'll want to make sure you're doing that. And then the last thing is you want to make sure you're offering opportunities for customers to repurchase without thinking about it. And that's going to be one of those, key things that I'm going to share about, because if you're not giving people, if your product is eligible, for instance, for subscribe and save, you need to make sure that that is added to all of your products, that it's on all of the eligible product listings. And personally, this is my recommendation as well. From our experience, what we've seen best is you need to also think like a customer for a minute. You need to entice them to want to subscribe and save, because they're going to have two options. They can add it to their cart, get it right away, or they can subscribe and save 5%. So remember, and knowing your numbers of like, this is the average, customer value and like lifetime value of how much typically we see customers buy, having that number in your mind when you're thinking about offering, for instance, a 5% discount if they subscribe and save. Doing things like that will entice people. Most people, if they're seeing the same price, they're not going to be as persuaded typically to want to set up subscribe and save if they've never experienced your product, right? If they've never purchased from your brand. Something else I didn't mention, but about sponsored brands is, within your Amazon advertising console, you can also see data specifically on what's called NTB. So that's new to brand customers. You can see, as a result of running ads on Amazon every month, how many people have never bought from your brand in Amazon's history of purchase. So that is really important data as well. So just make sure to offer those ways for people to repurchase, not even have to think about it. Maybe it comes to them every month, every 3 months, whatever makes sense, and offering different options for that. So also offering, a great guarantee or a powerful offer, that's where they're going to want to shop, not based on price, but on loyalty. Because you don't want, what's happened is there's so many products on Amazon. You don't want to necessarily be, well, it's just because I'm the lowest, because then you're always going to be hurting your margins. That's going to really affect your ability to run advertising on Amazon, because you need that margin to bring in new customers, right? So having a powerful offer or some kind of guarantee, something that is enticing to people, you're going to create not just someone that's buying a product and then they're done, but you're going to create this interaction with a new customer that they're going to have such an amazing experience that they're going to want to continue to buy from your brand. They're going to be interested in more of your products, right? So hopefully you're starting to see where I'm going with some of these things, but building that brand loyalty on Amazon is important. You don't want people that are just shopping for, this is the bottom price point, this is the cheapest, I'm just going to go for that, right?